heading off to Europe. It should be a very beautiful period of time. The 100th anniversary of the ending of World War I. We have many countries, the leadership of many countries will be there, especially since they heard the United States will be there. And we look forward to that. It'll be a great, really commemorative service. I think it's going to be something very special. I've seen what they have planned, and I think it's going to be something very, very special. I just signed the proclamation on asylum, very important. People can come in, but they have to come in through the ports of entry, and that to me is a very important thing. Again, I reiterate, we need Democrats' votes. They have to pass new immigration laws because they're flooding our country. We're not letting them in, but they're trying to flood our country. We need the wall. We're building the wall, but we need it all built at one time and quickly. It's very important. We need Democrat support on new immigration laws to bring us up to date. The laws are obsolete and they're incompetent. They are the worst laws any country has anywhere in the world. And it's only because we don't have the Democrats' votes. So we need Democrat votes so we can change immigration. We'll have no trouble whatsoever at the border. We want people to come into our country, but they have to come into our country legally. They have to come into our country legally. We want people to come in through the merit system so that they can work for all of these great companies that I have coming into our country. We have many car companies coming in. We have many tech companies coming in. We have literally hundreds of companies moving back into the United States. We need people. We need to have, you see the unemployment numbers are at record lows. We need people in our country, but they have to come in legally and they have to have merit. They have to come in through a system of merit. We have everything worked out. We need some votes from the Democrats, or we need support from the Democrats, and hopefully they see what's going on. And the reason this is happening is we've created such a successful country economically that everybody is flooding into our country, or they want to, but we're stopping them at the border. That's why we have our great military there.
Mr. President, what do you say to all the criticism of Matt Whitaker and the calls for him to recuse himself, given what he said about the Russian?
Well, Matt Whitaker, I don't know Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker worked for Jeff Sessions, and he was always extremely highly thought of, and he still is. But I didn't know Matt Whitaker. He worked for Attorney General Sessions. He was very, very highly thought of, and still is highly thought of. But this only comes up because anybody that works for me, they do a number on them. But Matt Whitaker is a very smart man. He is a very respected man in the law enforcement community, very respected at the top of the line. And actually, the choice was greeted with raves initially, and it still is in some circles on, it's a shame that no matter who I put in, they go after him. It's very sad, I have to say. But he's acting. I think he'll do a very good job, and we'll see what happens. But I will say this, Matt Whitaker.
All right, folks, welcome. My name is Jen. I'm from Golden State Times. Right now, we are going to be putting it up on your screen. Secretaries Mike Pompeo and James Mattis, or Jim Mattis, are going to have a press conference with their Chinese counterparts on U.S. China relations. We're talking about trade. We're talking about defense. We're talking about working together to combat terrorism and other things. Where you just watching just a second ago was President Donald Trump giving a impromptu press conference before he went to Paris. He's in the air. He's on his way to Paris for a World War I or II event that's going to happen in Paris today. He's going to meet with other world leaders. So if you want to watch that after this this live stream, and it's on our channel right now. So make sure you guys go and check it out. So yeah, folks, we're going to be putting the press conference on your screen in just a second. So give us a second so we can put it up on your screen. Thank you so much. Please share this live stream on social media like always. That's the best way to help out this channel is by sharing this live stream on social media. Thank you so much for your support, and it should be starting very soon.
It's a very highly respected man, and you didn't have any problems with Matt Whitaker when he worked for Jeff Sessions. He's respected by law enforcement. He's a very strong law enforcement personality and person.
You talked with Matt Whitaker at all about the bullet probe before you applied it?
Speak to Matt Whitaker about it. I don't know Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker has a great reputation, and that's what I wanted. I also wanted to do something which, frankly,
All right, folks, so you're going to see a screen that says please stand by, or it's going to say live stream starting soon as we get ready for the press conference between James Mattis, Mike Pompeo, and their counterparts. They're headed to the podium as I speak. Here we go, folks. So just give me a second while I get everything ready to go, and then we'll go on from there. Thank you so much for choosing Golden State Times as your stream of choice. And here we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Secretary Mattis and I are pleased to welcome Director Yang and Minister Wei to the State Department for the second U.S. China Diplomatic and Security Dialogue. Welcome. Presidents Trump and Xi launched this dialogue as a venue for candid discussions on issues affecting the U.S. China relationship, and we advanced these discussions today in preparation for the upcoming meeting between our two leaders at the G20. As President Trump has made clear, the United States seeks a constructive, results-oriented relationship with China grounded in fairness, reciprocity, and respect. Personal relationships of trust and candor will go a long way in achieving these ends. This is why I was truly pleased to engage in friendly, constructive dialogue with Director Yang and Minister Wei today on a host of opportunities and challenges between our two countries. Even as our countries confront important differences in the bilateral relationship between the nations, our cooperation remains essential on many, many central issues. For example, I expressed in our meeting today the importance of remaining united in the pursuit of the final, fully verified denuclearization of North Korea, as agreed to by Chairman Kim in Singapore. This means maintaining pressure through the continued strict enforcement of all UN Security Council resolutions. China's cooperation in enforcing those UN Security Council resolutions will help achieve meaningful breakthroughs on this important denuclearization issue. I also expressed our desire to see further cooperation from China in addressing Iran's nuclear and missile programs and other malign activities. We hope to work with the Chinese government and Chinese energy companies in this regard. Bringing Iran's oil export revenues to zero is a critical component of this campaign, and we discussed this today. We also discussed how we can strengthen the commitments made at last year's dialogue, including deepening bilateral exchanges on military and security issues and risk reduction in times of crisis. In addition to these opportunities to strengthen our cooperation, I was forthright in addressing significant differences between our nations. I was clear, for example, that we have continued concern about China's activities in militarization in the South China Sea. We press China to live up to its past commitments in this area. Regarding our strong ties with the democratic Taiwan, I reiterated the U.S. policy has not changed and that we are concerned about China's increasing efforts to coerce others constraining Taiwan's international space. And finally, I stated the United States and the international communities will continue to express our concerns with respect to China's repression of religious groups and Christian, Buddhists, and 800,000 to possibly millions of Muslims that have been denied their freedoms. In closing, I want to state that this was an incredibly productive conversation. The United States is not pursuing a Cold War or containment policy with China. Rather, we want to ensure that China acts responsibly and fairly in support of security and prosperity of each of our two countries. I hope that our discussions today, as well as the upcoming discussions between Presidents Trump and Xi, will yield tangible results towards this goal. I am confident that they will. Thank you, and I'd now like to invite Director Yang to make his statement. Thank you, sir.
各位记者朋友、女士
Dear
们、
friends
先
from
生
the
们，
press,
大家好！
ladies and gentlemen,
我
good
和魏凤
afternoon.
和国务
State
委员
Council and
兼防
Defense
长
Minister Wei Fenghe and
非常
I
高兴来
are
到
very
华盛
delighted
顿
to
同
come to
蓬佩奥国
Washington,
务卿
D.C. and
马
co-chair
蒂斯国
together
防部
with
长
Secretary
举
of
行
State
第二任
Pompeo
中美
and
外交
Secretary of
安全对
Defense
话。
General Mattis for
首
the
先，
second
我要
round
对
of
美方的热情
diplomatic
接
and
待
security
表
dialogue.
示衷
Let
心
me
的
first
感
thank
谢。
our U.S. host for
今天
their
上午，我们围
gracious
绕做好
hospitality.
习近平
This
主
morning,
席和
centering
特朗
on
普总统在阿根
the
廷
summit
20
between
国集
President
团领
Xi
导
and
人峰
President
会
Trump
期
during
间
the G20 summit in
会晤筹
Argentina
备
in
工作
November,
进行了深
we
入的
had
讨论，
an in-depth discussion.
并就中美双边
And
关系
we
以及
have
共
had
同关心
full
的重大
communication
国
on
际
China-U.S.
和
bilateral
地区问
relationship
题
and major
进行了充分沟
international
通，
regional issues of shared
对话
interest.
是
The
坦
dialogue is
诚的、
candid,
建设性
constructive,
的、
and
富有成果的。
productive.
我们都高度评价
We highly
元
commend
首外交对中美关系发展的战
the
略引领
strategic
作用。
guidance of
认
summit
为
diplomacy
当前
for
形势
China-U.S.
下，
relations,
两
and we
国
believe
元
that
首
under the
阿根
current
廷会晤对
circumstances,
维护
the meeting
中
between
美
our
关
two
系
presidents
稳定发
is
展
of greater
更具
importance to
重要意义。
maintaining the
双
steady
方
and
同意按照
healthy
两国
development
元
of
首
China-U.S.
11月
relations.
1日
We
通
agree
电
to
话的
act
精
upon
神
the，phone call of the
加
two
强沟通，
presidents
密切
on
配
November
合
the 1st，
精
to
心
step up
筹备，
communication and
确
coordination
保这
and
次
make
重要
good
会晤
preparations
取
for the
得积
summit
极
to
成果。
ensure its
双
positive
方介绍
outcomes.
了
We
各
also
自
elaborate
战
on
略
our
意图
respective
和内外政
strategic
策。
intentions and domestic
中
and
方
foreign
强调，
policies. The
中
Chinese
国
side
坚定不移地走
stresses
中
that
国
China
特
is
色社会
firm
主义道
on
路。
pursuing socialism.
我们所做一切
Socialism with Chinese
都是为
characteristics.
中国人民
Everything that we
谋
do
幸
is
福，
to deliver
为
better life
中
for
华
the
民
Chinese
族
people
谋
to
福
realize
幸，而不是为了挑战
rejuvenation of the
谁。
Chinese nation
或
is
取
not
代谁。
intended to challenge or displace
中国
anyone.
坚持改革
China
开
will
放，
stay on the course
坚
of
持
reform
走
and
和
opening
平
up
发
and
展
a
道
path
路，
of peaceful
坚
development.
持
And
与
we are
世界
committed
各
to
国
working with other
共
countries
同
for a
推动
community
构
with a
建
shared
人类命运
future
共
for
同体。
mankind.
中国
China
始
will
终
remain
是世界和平的
a
建设者，
contributor to world
全
peace
球
and
发展
global
的贡献
development,
者，国际
as well
秩
as
序
a
的维护
defender
者。
of the international order.
中方始终致力
China
于
has all
同美
along
方一
committed
道努力，
itself to working with
实
the United
现
States
不冲
for
突、不对
non-confrontation,
抗、
non-conflict,
相互
mutual
尊重、
respect,
合
and
作共赢，
win-win outcome,
为亚太地
and to
区
make
和
positive
世界的
contribution to
和平
peace, stability,
稳定
and
繁荣
prosperity
做
in
出
the
积极
Asia-Pacific
贡献。
and beyond.
双方都认
We
为，
believe that
作为世界
as
前
the
两大
top
经
two
济体，
economies in the world,
最大
the
的发展
largest
国家和
developing
发达
country
国家，
and developed country,
保持中美关系的健康
a
稳
healthy
定
and
发
steady
展，
growth of
符合两
China-U.S.
国人民
relations
和
is
世
in the
界
best
各
interest
国人
of
民的
the
根本
two
利益，
peoples and
也
people
是两国人民
of
的
the
共
world.
同愿
It is
望。
also the shared desire
双方
of
愿
the
意
two
按照
peoples.
两国元
The
首
two
确定
sides
的方
will
向和
follow
原
the
则，
direction and principles
在
set out
相
by
互
the two
尊重的基
presidents,
础上，
manage
管控分歧，
differences with
在
mutual
互惠
respect,
互利
and
基础
expand
上
cooperation in
拓展
mutually
合作，
beneficial manner,
共同
and
努
work
力
together
推
to
进
pursue a
以
China-U.S.
协调
relationship that
合
is
作
characterized by
为基础
coordination
的
and
中美关系。
cooperation.
双方
The two sides
同意要以
agreed
建
to
设性的
handle
方式
differences
处理分歧
and
和敏感
sensitive
问
issues
题
in a。constructive
中
manner.
方重申
China
了
reaffirmed
在
its
经
position
贸问
on
题上的立
economic
场，
and trade issues.
双方
The
同
two
意
sides
应当
agree
切实落实
to follow up
两
on the
国元首
consensus reached by
近日
the two
通话
presidents in
所
their
达
latest
成
phone
的
call
共识，支持
to support
双方经
the
济
two
团队
economic teams
加强
to
接
step
触，
up
就
engagement
双方
and
关切
pursue
问题
consultation
开
on
展磋商，
issues
推动达成
of
一个
mutual
双方
concerns
都能
and to
接
seek
受
a
的方
mutually
案。
acceptable solution.
中方强调，
The Chinese side
中国
highlights
坚
that
定
China
维
is
护
firmly resolved
自身
to
主权
safeguard its
和领土
sovereignty
完
and
整。
territorial
一
integrity.
个中国
The
原
One
则
China principle
是 中美关
is
系的政
the
治基
political
础。
foundation for China-U.S.
台独势
relations.
力及其
Taiwan
分裂活
independent
动
forces and their separatist
是当前
activities
台海和
pose
平
the
稳定
biggest
的
threat
最
to
大
peace and
威
stability
胁。
in the Taiwan
对此
Strait.
美方应该有清楚的
The
认识。
U.S.
我们敦促美方
should
恪守一个中国
recognize
原
it
则
clearly.
和中美
We
三个
urge the
联合
United
公报
States
规定
to，abide by the One China principle
慎重
and
妥
the
善
three China-U.S.
处
joint
理涉
communiques
台问题。
and cautiously handle Taiwan-related matters.
中方也强调，
The Chinese side also stressed
处理好中东问题，
The
特
proper
别是
handling of the
涉及
Middle
伊朗的
East
问题
situation, in
至关
particular
重要。
matters related to
有
Iran,
关
is
伊朗
very
的
important.
核协议应该
About
继
the
续
deal on
得到
Iran,
遵守，
it needs to
各
be
方
continued
应该为
to be
整个
implemented
地区的
and
和
observed
平稳定做
to-
出各自的积极的
and the two
贡
sides
献。
should make continued
中方
contribution to peace and stability of the
致力于
region.
亚太地区
The
的
Chinese side is
和平
committed to
与
peace
发展，
and development in the Asia
我们
Pacific.
尊重
We
美方
respect
在亚太地
the
区
United
的
States'
利益，
interest in the
同时
Asia Pacific.
美方也应当尊重
At the same time,
中
we
方
expect
在
the
亚
United
太地
States
区
to
的
respect China's
安全，
security interests in
尊
the
重
Asia
中国的主权
Pacific,
中国
China's
的发展
sovereignty
利益。
and development interests.
我们在中国的岛礁上
China has
进行
undertaken some
民
constructions
事
on
设施的
its
建设，
islands and rips.
是为了
Most of them
中国
are civilian
人民
facilities.
的利益，
The purpose is
也
to
是为了
serve
提供
the interest
公
of the
共
Chinese
服务。
people and also to
我
provide
们
public
也有
goods
必要
to others. At the
进
same
行
time,
必要的
it is necessary
安全
for China
方面
to
的设施的建
build
设，
certain
以应付可
security
能来自
facilities
外部的
in response
威胁。
to possible
我们认为，任何国家都不应该
from outside.
以任何借口
We believe that no
在
country
这个
should
地区
use any
搞军事
excuse
化。
to engage in
事实上，
militarization
在
in
这
the
个地
region.
区搞军事化，
Actually,
不仅
to pursue
会损害
militarization in the region
在这个
will
地区
not
的
only
国家的利益，
undermine interest of
也会损
regional
害
countries, but will
这些国家自己的利益，所以在这个地区
the
并不
countries
存在
who take
所谓妨
these
碍
actions
自由航
themselves.
行的，
There is no such a
问题。
problem of
所以任何
the
以
freedom of
自由航
navigation
行
and overflight
为
being
名
obstructed.
来采取
So to
啊
use
军
the
事方
freedom
面
of
活动的
navigation and
事情
overflight as an
都
excuse
是
to pursue military
站不住
actions
脚的。
is
中国尊重
unjustifiable.
人权，
China
各
respects
国都
human
应该尊
rights
重人权。正如习近平
as
主
other
席所
countries
说，
must do the
在
same.
人权
As
问题
President
上
Xi
没
points
有最
out,
好，
there
只
is
有更
always
好。
room for
中
improvement
国各族人民
on human
享
rights.
受信仰宗教
In China,
和不信仰宗教的
people
自
have
由
the freedom to believe
他
or
们
not
都是中国的公民，
believe in religion.
在
They are
人
all
权方
Chinese
面
citizens.
他们得到全面的
Their human rights
尊重
have been
和
fully
保护。
respected and
我们希
protected.
望
It
美
is our
方
hope
能够
that
尊重
the
事
United
实。
States could respect the fact.
总之，中美两国
All in all,
应该
China
在
and
相互
the
尊
United
重的基
States
础上
should
多进行沟通，
step up
同时
communication
都
on the
处理
basis of
好
mutual respect
自
and
己
work
本
to
国的事情。
handle well its own affairs.
我们认为，两国元首对
We believe that
中美关系发展的战略引领
the strategic
是
guidance
十分重要。
provided by our two
我们
presidents
要按
is
照
very
我们
important,
两国元
and
首
we need
所达成的
to
共
follow
识，
up on the consensus that
进一步
they have reached
来扩大我们之间的合作领
and
域，
further expand
来
areas
挖
for
掘我
cooperation,
们合作的潜力。
tap potential.
我们
for
同意
cooperation
继续推进
We
在
agree
两军
to continue to
反恐
advance
执法、禁毒及打击
Communication
芬太尼滥用
in
和走
mil-to-mil
私
relations,
活动、
counterterrorism, law
人文、
enforcement,
地
counter
方
narcotics,
等领域以及
and
重
the
大国
abuse and
际和
smuggling of
地区
fentanyl,
问题上的沟通、
and
协调
also
与合作，
coordination and cooperation
更多更
in
好地
people-to-people
造福两国
exchange
人
and
民，
at subnational
并为
levels and on
世界
major international
提供
regional issues
更
to
多
better benefit
公
our
共
two
产
peoples
品。
and provide more public goods for the
双
world.
方就朝鲜
The
半
two
岛问
sides
题
discussed
深入交换了意见。
In an in-depth
中
manner,
方
the
重申
Korean Peninsula
坚持
issue.
半岛无
China
核化，
reaffirmed its
坚
position
持维
and
护
commitment to
半岛和平
denuclearization
稳
of the
定，
Korean Peninsula,
坚持
peace
通
and
过
stability
协
of the
商
Korean
谈判
Peninsula,
解
and
决
a
问题。
solution through
中方
consultation
将
and
继续严
negotiation.
格执行
China will
安理
continue
会
to
有关
enforce
决议。
strictly relevant
中
UN
方
Security
支
Council
持美
resolutions.
朝直接
China
对话，
supports
希
direct
望
dialogue
双方
between the
继
United
续
States
相向而
and
行
the，DPRK
照顾
and
彼
hopes
此
that
的
the two
合理
sides
的
will
关切，
meet each other
积累
halfway,
互信，
accommodate each other's
并行推
legitimate
进
concerns,
半岛完
build
全无核
trust,
化，
and advance
建立
denuclearization
半岛和平机
process
制。
and the establishment of a peace mechanism in tandem. The two sides also exchanged views on Afghanistan and other regional and international issues, and agreed to step up communication and coordination and play a positive role in seeking proper settlement to relevant issues. Ladies and gentlemen, next year marks the 40th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. For the past 4 decades, China-U.S. relations have been moving forward despite all the twists and turns and have made historic progress and have delivered benefits to both countries and the world. History and reality prove that cooperation is the only right choice for both countries, and win-win can lead to a better life. For the fundamental interest of the two peoples and people in other parts of the world, we hope that our two sides will work in concert and come together, focus on cooperation, manage differences, and advance China-U.S. relations along the right track. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and it's been a pleasure to join Secretary Pompeo in welcoming Director Young and Minister Wei to Washington for our U.S. China diplomatic and security dialogue. And we thank you both for making the long trip along with your delegation from Beijing. Your visit reminds us that we build on a deep history between the United States and China, one that stretches back to the earliest days of our American experiment in democracy. Our meeting today is evidence of America's efforts to work toward a brighter future for both our peoples. President Trump's national security strategy makes it clear that competition does not mean hostility, nor must it lead to conflict. While our two Pacific nations may not always agree, we recognize it serves both our people's interests to cooperate where we can. High-level dialogues like this help diminish the space between us as we explore areas where we share common interest and common purpose. To that end, as Secretary Pompeo stated, today we discussed our shared desire to achieve the final, fully verified denuclearization of North Korea. We reaffirmed our nation's commitments to enforcing the unanimous Security Council resolutions in pursuit of that goal for the good of all mankind. As Secretary of State touched on, we also discussed the importance for all military, law enforcement, and civilian vessels and aircraft, including those in the PLA Navy, the Chinese Coast Guard, and the PRC Maritime Militia, to operate in a safe and professional manner in accordance with international law as we seek peaceful resolution of all disputes in the South China Sea. Through candid discussions, we sought ways to lessen tension, maintain open lines of communication between our militaries, and reduce the risk of miscalculation. And we made clear that the United States will continue to fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows. The U.S. commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific, one that is underpinned by the rules-based international order and regional stability, is unwavering. Director Young, Minister Wei, within our pursuit to realize this vision for the region, I echo Secretary of State Pompeo's words that the United States seeks a constructive, reciprocal, and results-oriented U.S.-China relationship, one that benefits the Indo-Pacific and the world. We continue our commitment to explore new areas of cooperation on strategic issues of mutual concern like space, cyber, and nuclear capabilities, as well as reinforce the importance of military-to-military exchanges for our bilateral relationship. For we recognize our military ties can serve as a source of stability for our two nations as long as we remain transparent and communicate sincerely with one another. Along that line, the United States is committed to finalizing a military-to-military crisis deconfliction and communication framework with China, while we seek ways to implement and enhance the existing confidence-building measures, including what we call the Joint Staff Dialogue Mechanism. Director Young, Minister Wei, thank you again for coming to Washington today. Minister Wei, I look forward to continuing this morning's constructive conversation at our bilateral meeting this afternoon. And I now invite you to make your remarks.
各位记者、朋友们，大家好。
Good
很高
morning.
兴在华盛顿
It gives me
与
great pleasure
媒体的各位
to
朋友见面
meet。with you here.
我这次应马蒂斯访
I'm
问的
in
邀请，
Washington at the
正式访
invitation
问
of Secretary
美国，
Mattis for an
并
official
参加第二
visit
次
to the
中
U.S.
美外交安全
and
对
also
话。
for the second round of
我这对
diplomatic
各
and
位
security
代表团
dialogue.
召来
I want to
美
thank
方
our
马蒂斯
host,
部长做了认真的、精心的准备。
Secretary Mattis, for your gracious
表示感谢。
hospitality to my
刚才双
delegation.
方就落实习主
Just
席
now,
和
the
特
two
朗
sides
普
had
总统的重
candid
要
and
共识，
in-depth discussion
进行了
on
坦
how
诚
to
的、
follow up
积
on
极的
the
沟通。
important common
我
understanding
认
reached
为
between our
取得
two
了积极的、
presidents.
建设性的成果。
I think this is a
双方认为
productive and
中美
positive
两军
dialogue.
应进一步的加强
The two sides
战
share
略
the
沟
view
通，
that the two
妥善
sides
地
need
贯
to
通
further
分歧，
step up
推进交流
strategic
合作，
trust, properly
努力
handle
使两军关
differences,
系
promote
成为
exchanges
两
and
国关系
cooperation
的稳
so
定
that
器。
this military
中美
relationship will be a
都是
source
大
of
国，
stability
合
for the
则
overall
两利，
bilateral ties.
斗则
As
居
two
上。
major countries,
合
we
作
stand to
是
gain
双
from
方
cooperation
唯一
and
正确的
lose
选择。
from
中美
confrontation.
两军
Cooperation is
和
the
平
only
相
option
处，
for us.
开展合作
Peaceful
是两国
coexistence and
和
cooperation
世
between
界
the
之
two
福。
militaries will be good
两
news
军如果
for
发
our
生
two
冲
countries
突、
and for the whole
对
world.
抗，将
While
是
confrontation
两
or
国
conflict
和
between
世
the
界
two
的灾难。
militaries will spell disaster to all.
中国坚持走
China
和
is
平发展的
committed
道
to
路，
peaceful development.
一贯奉行
It
防御性的
follows
国防
a
政策，
defense
绝
policy
不
that
走
is defensive
国
in
强
nature.
逼
We
霸
will
的道
definitely
路。
not seek
中国军力
hegemony,
的发展
however strong we may
使
grow.
世界和平
The
力
development of
量的
China's
发展。
defense capability represents a
中国
growing
军
force
队
for
坚
world
决
peace.
反对
The Chinese
一切
military
分
stands
裂
firmly
祖国的
against
图谋行径，
any separatist
维护
activities.
国家主权、安全、
We have an
发展利益
unwavering
的决心意
resolve
志
in
坚定
safeguarding
不移。
China's sovereignty, security,
中
and
方始
development
终
interests.
抱着最大的诚意
China
发展
always
两
approaches
军关
its
系，
mill-to-mill
也
relationships
希望
with
美
the
方
U.S. with
尊
utmost
重中方的
sincerity
核心利
and
益
would
和
likewise
重大关
expect the
切，
U.S. to respect
双
China's core
方
interests and major
相向而
concerns
行，
so that the two
实
sides
现
can work
不
toward the
冲
same
突、
goal
不对抗，
and
相互
achieve
尊
a
重，
relationship defined
合
by
作
no
共赢，
conflict, no
为
confrontation,
维护
mutual
地区
respect, and win-win
和
cooperation,
平和
and contribute
世
our
界的繁
part
荣
to
做
peace
出
and
积极的贡
stability
献。
in our region
谢谢
and
大家。
beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. We now have time for 4 reporters to ask questions. We will call on reporters, and we ask that each reporter limit their question to 1. For the first question, I'd like to call on the Voice of America, Ms. Nike Ching.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Secretary Pompeo and Mattis, on South China Sea, what are specific things the U.S. and China are doing to build a military mechanism to avoid conflict? And if there are operational changes? Mr. Secretary, how were Uyghur and Taiwan issues being discussed during your meeting with the Chinese counterparts? What is the U.S. asking for? Is strengthening U.S.-Taiwan ties an irritant in U.S.-China relations? 杨洁篪委员，外界对于新疆的维吾尔人以及西藏的人权与宗教问题呢有许多关注。对此，中国政府表示呢，反对外界以人权为借口来干涉内政。那么，中国政府是否愿意邀请并且协助美国官员？包括美国驻中国大使布兰斯塔德访问新疆以及西藏。此外，中国的一个中国原则和美国的一个中国政策有什么不同？谢谢。
Sure. In regards to our exercises and operations in the South China Sea, the United States adheres strictly to international law and the international maritime rules of the road, and we continue to operate anywhere in international waters, international airspace, as all nations are entitled to. So the most important thing is that we all pay equal attention to international law.
Your question to me was with respect to Taiwan and the issue with the Uyghur population. The U.S. policy has not changed since this administration took office with respect to Taiwan. We honored the One China policy and the 3 communiques. Every action that we have taken is consistent with that, and we will continue to take actions that are consistent with honoring that commitment that is a long-standing United States commitment. And the United States is also unequivocal when it comes to human rights. We ask every country China included, we have discussions to make sure that they treat the people of their nations with the respect and dignity that every human being is entitled to. And when it comes to religious minorities in China, we had a conversation about how it is that we hope the Chinese will treat their religious minorities and our concerns with respect to that. It was a good conversation and one that that is important to each of our two countries, I know.
刚才我已经讲了。
In my opening remarks, I said that in our discussion we talked about the issue of the South China Sea. China reaffirmed its principled position on this issue and pointed out that China has indisputable sovereignty over islands in Nansha and its adjacent waters. On its own territory, China is undertaking some constructions to build civilian facilities and necessary defense facilities. That is the right of preservation and self-defense that international law has provided for sovereign state that has nothing to do with militarization. They are legitimate. China is committed to addressing disputes through dialogue and negotiation with parties directly concerned. China is working with ASEAN countries to fully implement fully and comprehensively the DOC, and the consultation on COC is making good progress. Well, right now, the situation in the South China Sea is trending toward greater stability. In our discussion just now, the Chinese side made it clear to the United States that it should stop sending its vessels and military aircraft close to Chinese islands and rivers and stop actions that undermine China's sovereignty and security interests. And we urge the United States to play a constructive role for peace and stability in the South China Sea. That will certainly help reduce security risks. Taiwan is an inalienable part of the Chinese territory. On the basis of the One China principle, China has established diplomatic relations with over 170 countries. We will continue to remain committed to the One China principle that bears on China's sovereignty and dignity, its security and territorial integrity. That is an issue of principle. Matters related to Xinjiang are China's internal affairs. Foreign countries have no right to interfere. The Chinese government attaches great importance to social and economic development in Xinjiang and has taken a host of measures to promote stability, development, unity, and people's well-being. At the same time, within the confines of law, the government has taken steps to crack down on ethnic separatist activities and violent terrorist crimes to safeguard national security and life of property of the people. These measures have paid off. Right now, Xinjiang enjoys social stability, its economy is growing with a strong momentum, and ethnic groups are existing with each other in harmony. We hope that the United States could respect the facts and look at relevant matters in an objective light and stop interfering in China's internal affairs. In Tibet, various ethnic minorities are having good relations and their rights and interests are protected. A lot of foreign people have been to Tibet and Xinjiang. Facts are facts. Thank you.
Taiwan is an inseparable part from China. This is a position repeated by Director Yang. To achieve reunification is a mission for our party and country. In the oath of allegiance to the U.S., there is this sentence saying, this is a nation under the God indivisible. So it is the same with Taiwan. It is an inalienable part of China. So if this territorial integrity is under threat, we will do it at any cost, just like what the U.S. side had in Civil War. Now I will give the floor to a Chinese journalist. One question at one time.
你好，我是新华社的记者。有一个问题的话，想问一下魏部长，能否请您介绍一下当前中国的国防政策以及目前中美两军的关系？谢谢。
Policy and mil-to-mil relationship between China and the U.S.
中美两军的关系问题，应该说习主席和
Well, President Xi and President Trump attach great importance to mil-to-mil relationship. So in every meeting they always talk about this issue. So under the guidance of the two presidents, mil-to-mil relationship is moving forward and maintaining stable growth on the whole, despite some problems. To make this mil-to-mil relationship a source of stability to the overall relationship is a consensus between our two sides. Now we have kept the channel for strategic communication open. We have established dialogue and consultation mechanisms at various levels in counterterrorism, in peacekeeping, in humanitarian assistance. We have carried out many practical cooperation. By the end of this year, we will have maritime security consultation and also a joint military exercise on maritime humanitarian rescue and search. This year we had 3 meetings with Secretary Mattis. We have exchanged visits in Singapore. We also had in-depth discussion. This kind of meeting and consultation have been conducted in constructive, candid manner in enhancing mil-to-mil relationship and building strategic trust, in promoting practical cooperation. We had many candid discussions and reached important common understandings. So, in short, we believe that a stable mil-to-mil relationship is very important for a stable overall bilateral relationship. It serves the interests of both countries. Now, at the crossroads of our bilateral relationship, it is important for us to follow up on the consensus between our presidents. We need to prevent frictions from other regions to spread into the military sector.
Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. Stand by. Stand by. Give me a second, folks, while I get this.
China reaffirmed its principled position on this issue and pointed out that China has indisputable sovereignty over islands in Nansha and its adjacent waters. On its own territory, China is undertaking some constructions to build civilian facilities and necessary defense facilities. That is the right of preservation and self-defense that international law has provided for.
All right, folks, so we're trying to, I don't know what is going on here. All right, hold on.
Stability, hospitality to and positive dialogue. The two sides share the view that the two sides need to further step up strategic trust, properly handle differences, promote exchanges and cooperation so that this military relationship will be a source of stability for the overall bilateral ties. As two major countries, we stand to gain from cooperation and lose from confrontation. Cooperation is the only option for us. Peaceful coexistence and cooperation between the two militaries will be good news for our two countries and for the whole world, while confrontation or conflict between the two militaries will spell disaster to all. China is committed to peaceful development. It follows a defense policy that is defensive in nature. We will definitely not seek hegemony, however strong we may grow. The development of China's defense capability represents a growing force for world peace. The Chinese military stands firmly against any separatist activities. We have an unwavering resolve in safeguarding China's sovereignty, security, and development interests. China always approaches its mil-to-mil relationships with the U.S. with utmost sincerity and would likewise expect the U.S. to respect China's core interests and major concerns so that the two sides can work toward the same goal and achieve a relationship defined by no conflict, no confrontation, mutual respect, and win-win cooperation, and contribute our part to peace and stability in our region and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. We now have time for 4 reporters to ask questions. We will call on reporters, and we ask that each reporter limit their question to 1. For the first question, I'd like to call on the Voice of America, Ms. Nike Ching.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Secretary Pompeo and Mattis, on South China Sea, what are specific things the U.S. and China are doing to build a military mechanism to avoid conflict? And if there are operational changes? Mr. Secretary, how were Uyghur and Taiwan issues being discussed during your meeting with the Chinese counterparts? What is the U.S. asking for? Is strengthening U.S.-Taiwan ties an irritant in U.S. China relations? 杨洁篪委员，外界对于新疆的维吾尔人以及西藏的人权与宗教问题呢有许多关注。对此，中国政府表示呢，反对外界以人权为借口来干涉内政。那么，中国政府是否愿意邀请并且协助美国官员？包括美国驻中国大使布兰斯塔德访问新疆以及西藏。此外，中国的一个中国原则和美国的一个中国政策有什么不同？谢谢。
Sure. In regards to our exercises and operations in the South China Sea, the United States adheres strictly to international law and the international maritime rules of the road, and we continue to operate anywhere in international waters, international airspace, as all nations are entitled to. So the most important thing is that we all pay equal attention to international law.
Your question to me was with respect to Taiwan and the issue with the Uyghur population. The U.S. policy has not changed since this administration took office with respect to Taiwan. We honored the One China policy and the 3 communiques. Every action that we have taken is consistent with that, and we will continue to take actions that are consistent with honoring that commitment that is a long-standing United States commitment. And the United States is also unequivocal when it comes to human rights. We ask every country, China included, we have discussions to make sure that they treat the people of their nations with the respect and dignity that every human being is entitled to. And when it comes to religious minorities in China, we had a conversation about how it is that we hope the Chinese will treat their religious minorities and our concerns with respect to that. It was a good conversation and one that that is important to each of our 2 countries, I know.
刚才我已经讲了。
In my opening remarks, I said that in our discussion we talked about the issue of the South China Sea. China reaffirmed its principled position on this issue and pointed out that China has indisputable sovereignty over islands in Nansha and its adjacent waters. On its own territory, China is undertaking some constructions to build civilian facilities and necessary defense facilities. That is the right of preservation and self-defense that international law has provided for sovereign state that has nothing to do with militarization. They are legitimate. China is committed to addressing disputes through dialogue and negotiation with parties directly concerned. China is working with ASEAN countries to fully implement fully and comprehensively the DOC, and the consultation on COC is making good progress. Well, right now, the situation in the South China Sea is trending toward greater stability. In our discussion just now, the Chinese side made it clear to the United States that it should stop sending its vessels and military aircraft close to Chinese islands and rivers and stop actions that undermine China's sovereignty and security interests. And we urge the United States to play a constructive role for peace and stability in the South China Sea. That will certainly help reduce security risks. Taiwan is an inalienable part of the Chinese territory. On the basis of the One China principle, China has established diplomatic relations with over 170 countries. We will continue to remain committed to the One China principle that bears on China's sovereignty and dignity, its security and territorial integrity. That is an issue of principle. Matters related to Xinjiang are China's internal affairs. Foreign countries have no right to interfere. The Chinese government attaches great importance to social and economic development in Xinjiang and has taken a host of measures to promote stability, development, unity, and people's well-being. At the same time, within the confines of law, the government has taken steps to crack down on ethnic separatist activities and violent terrorist crimes to safeguard national security and life of property of the people. These measures have paid off. Right now, Xinjiang enjoys social stability, its economy is growing with a strong momentum, and ethnic groups are existing with each other in harmony. We hope that the United States could respect the facts and look at relevant matters in an objective light and stop interfering in China's internal affairs. In Tibet, various ethnic minorities are having good relations and their rights and interests are protected. A lot of foreign people have been to Tibet and Xinjiang. Facts are facts. Thank you.
Taiwan is an inseparable part from China. This is a position repeated by Director Yang. To achieve reunification is a mission for our party and country. In the oath of allegiance to the U.S., there is this sentence saying, this is a nation under the God indivisible. So it is the same with Taiwan. It is an inalienable part of China. So if this territorial integrity is under threat, we will do it at any cost, just like what the U.S. side had in Civil War. Now I will give the floor to a Chinese journalist. One question at one time.
你好，我是新华社的记者，有一个问题的话想问一下魏部长，能否请您介绍一下当前中国的国防政策以及目前中美两军的关系？谢谢。
Policy and mil-to-mil relationship between China and the U.S.
中美两军的关系问题，应该说习主席和特朗普总统高度重视中美两军的关系。基本上，中美两军的关系放水地谈中美两军关系。近年来，两国军事关系、军队的关系在两国总统的引领下，两军的关系总体上是稳定下来的。当然，有利的这些问题，努力建成两国关系的稳定器，这是我们。
To make this mil-to-mil relationship a source of stability to the overall relationship is a consensus between our two sides. Now we have kept the channel for strategic communication open. We have established dialogue and consultation mechanisms at various levels in counterterrorism, in peacekeeping, in humanitarian assistance. We have carried out many practical cooperation. By the end of this year, we will have maritime security consultation and also a joint military exercise on maritime humanitarian rescue and search. This year we had 3 meetings with Secretary Mattis. We have exchanged visits in Singapore. We also had in-depth discussion. This kind of meeting and consultation have been conducted in constructive, candid manner in enhancing mil-to-mil relationship and building strategic trust, in promoting practical cooperation. We had many candid discussions and reached important common understandings. So, in short, we believe that a stable mil-to-mil relationship is very important for a stable overall bilateral relationship. It serves the interests of both countries. Now, at the crossroads of our bilateral relationship, it is important for us to follow up on the consensus between our presidents. We need to prevent frictions from other regions to spread into the military sector to keep this mil-to-mil relationship a source of stability. China is committed to peaceful development. It follows a defense policy that is defensive in nature. It is enshrined in our constitution and the Charter of the Communist Party of China. It is a solemn pledge we made. I'm not just repeating official line. We will never seek hegemony, aggression, or expansion or arms race.
和平发展的力量。
In development of China's defense capability represents a growing force for world peace. And the development of China's defense capability is transparent. It is only for the protection of China itself, to protect Chinese people from war, to give them a life of peace. And this capability building is also transparent. It is conducted
但是这些提升都是适度的，
有信心、有能力维护我们国家的主权、安全和发展利益。中国的军费也是透明的。我来，我专门找国家财政部和后勤管财务的同志专门核对我们的国防经费。我们的国防经费是对外世界公布的，是入世、向联合国报告的。这一点中国还参加了联合国。 All of you. China has been part of that UN report on military expenditure. Thank you.
The next question, please. Wall Street Journal, Courtney McBride.
Thank you. The Trump administration has cited China as one reason for its planned withdrawal from the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. And I wondered, Secretary Pompeo and Secretary Mattis, whether you have raised the possibility of China participating instead in arms control, and what the response was, if so. And alternatively, should the U.S. withdraw, this could open the door for U.S. deployment of missiles in Asia. And I'm curious from the director and the minister what the Chinese response to that possibility would be.
Thank you. We did not spend time talking in detail about that issue today.
好，最后我请中央电视台的记者贾黎提问。
With CCTV.
请杨主任介绍一下，中国在为世界和平和发展所做的工作，以及您认为当前的这个中美经贸问题该怎样解决？最后，请您评价一下中美未来的关系，谢谢。
The prospect of China-U.S. relations. Thank you.
中国改革开放40年来。
For the past 4 decades of reform and opening up, China has taken 700 million people out of poverty, and the whole nation of nearly 1.4 billion people are enjoying much better lives. The post-global financial crisis years have seen China accounting for over 30% of global economic growth annually. But today, China is the third largest contributor to the UN regular budget and the second largest to its peacekeeping budget. China provides more peacekeepers than any other permanent member of the UN Security Council.
中国始终遵守以联合国宪章宗旨和原则为核心的国际关系准则，致力于同各国
And China is more than ready to develop friendship and cooperation with all countries of the world.
中美经贸关系的本质是互利共赢的。
Our trade and economic relations are mutually beneficial by nature and have delivered tangible gains to both countries and peoples. As part and parcel of the global industrial chain, China-U.S. trade and economic relations help allocate resources globally in a more efficient way. Hence, it is critical to the world economy. According to the U.S. China Business Council, trade and economic relations with China help every American family save $850 annually and create as many as 6 million jobs in this country. While the issues that exist in our economic and trade relations are the result of our different economic structures, development stages, and these issues can be resolved through dialogue and consultation. A trade war, instead of leading to any solution, will only end up hurting both sides and the global economy.
中方对对话的谈判的大门的态度
The Chinese side has kept the channel of dialogue open.
中美对话的谈判的大门 是敞开的。
The door to negotiation
中美双方
remains open.
也有通过协调合作
And
解
let's
决
not
经贸
forget
难
how
题
our
的
two
成功
sides
先
have
例。
successfully
希望两国
navigated
经济
through
团队
previous rough
按
patches
照
in our
习
economic
近
and trade
平主
relations.
席和特朗普
I
总
hope that our
统
economic teams will
11月
follow
1
through
日
on
通
what
电
the
话达成的
President
共识加强
agreed
结束，
upon in their November the
在
1st
平
phone
等
call,
诚信的
carry
基
out
础上
equal
开
footed
展
and good
对话
faith
沟通，
dialogue and
推
communication,
动达成
and
双
before
方
long
都能接受
find a mutually
的方案。
acceptable solution.
中美两国建交马上就快到40年了。
We are going to celebrate the 40th anniversary of our diplomatic
在
relations.
过去相当长的时间里面，
For many years in
我
the
去过
past,
美国的很多的
I have
州，
been to many
结
states
识
in
了
this
很多美
country,
国
and
朋
I
友。
have made many
在
American
同他们的
friends.
接触交往
In my
中，
conversation and
我深深
encounters
感到
with them,
美国人
I
民
could feel
对中国
their
人民
genuine
所怀有的真挚的友
friendship
情。
and goodwill toward China.
同样，中国人民对美国人民也怀有
the Chinese people
深厚的感情。
Have this deep
我由衷的相信，
friendship
中美友好
toward the American
深
people.
入人心，
I, for one, believe
这
that
棵
our
大树
friendship has
未来
sunken deep roots in the
会
hearts of
更
our
加
two peoples
根
and
深
will
叶
grow
茂。
into a big
中美
tree
关系
with
的
thick
进一步
foliage.
发展，
The further
也必
development
将
of China-U.S. relations
给
will for
两国人
sure
民
give our two
带去
peoples a
更多
greater sense
满足
of
感
gain and satisfaction.
获得的。我觉得，在明年我们庆祝
As we
中美
mark
建交
the 40th
40周年的
anniversary
时候，
next year,
我们就要用更多的成果
we
来
need
证明
to prove
中美
with
两
greater
国
progress
的伟大的政治家
that the great
做出
statesmen from
打
both
开中美
countries
关系大门、
made
两国建交
the
的
right
决定
decision
是完
to
全
open the
正
door
确
of
的，
exchange with
是
each
给
other
两
and
国
to
人民
establish
带
diplomatic
来了实
relations.
实在在
And
的
that decision
利益
is the
的。
right one,
而
and
在
that has
未来的
delivered
40
real
年
tangible
乃
benefits
至
to our
更
two
长的时
peoples.
间里面，
And I hope that in the
通
next
过我们
40
的
years
共
and
同努力，
longer, with
在
our
协调
concerted efforts
合作的基础
on
上
the，basis of
中美
coordination
关
and
系
cooperation,
将能够取得
China-U.S.
更大的
relations
成
will
绩，
score greater
只
progress
会与
and
我们两国人
achievements
民和世界
to
各
bring
国
greater
人民。
benefits to
谢
our
谢。
two peoples and people across the world. Thank you.
And with that, our press conference concludes. Thank you to all of our principals. Thank you to all of you. 大家谢谢。
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in a minute.
Thank you. Thank you. 拜拜。好，再从。
All right, folks. Thank you very much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. As you guys saw, this was a press briefing between U.S. China relations. This was very important, folks. I hope that you guys were paying attention. As you guys saw on the chat, YouTube completely demonetized this live stream. Like always, we are under attack by YouTube. Demonetization is rampant. Demonetization is not mostly about, not getting ads on the live streams or the videos. It's mostly because what happens when someone gets demonetized, a video or a live stream, it means that it's getting also shadow banned. So if you ever been shadow banned on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, you'll know what it means. You get thrown to the bottom of the barrel. Nobody gets to see it on search. It doesn't get recommended. It doesn't get sent as notification from YouTube. So there's a lot of stuff that happens when someone or a video or a live stream gets demonetized. So if you'd like to help out Golden State Times, there's a link in the description below. Also, thank you so much for everyone sharing this live stream. Thank you so much for your support. Like always, I'd like to give a quick shout out here to, let's see, give me 1 second. We got some contributions here. Contributions always helps us get to the next Trump rally or to the next live event, folks. So I'd like to give a quick thank you to Dwayne, and I also like to give a quick thank you to John. Thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to support us on PayPal, the link is in the description below, or you can go to paypal.me/GST live. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope that you guys join us next time for another live stream. If you like our coverage, then please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and that way hopefully you get notified by YouTube If you want to get notified directly by us here at Golden State Times, you can text with your cell phone to, you can text America First to 555-888, and that way you get notified directly by me when we go live. So if you like to get notified directly by us here at Golden State Times instead of YouTube, grab your cell phone and text America First to 555-888, and you'll get notified by us. Thank you so much for your support. If you like continued coverage on this issue and other breaking news that is happening right now, go to www.goldenstatetimes.com. Again, that's goldenstatetimes.com. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you guys here next time. My name is Jen. I'm from Golden State Times, and I'll see you soon. Peace. Again, folks, thank you very much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. If you guys missed the speech, it'll be uploaded on the channel in just a few minutes. If you would like to get notified by us instead of YouTube, if you got here right in the middle or towards the end, and because YouTube did not notify you, make sure to grab your cell phone and text America First to 555-888, and then you'll get notified directly by me here at Golden State Times. So that way you guys stay up to date on all news that is happening. Right now, there's a few things going on, folks. California is on fire once again. There's 3 fires blazing in California. One is close to the LA Zoo. The other one is in between LA and Thousand Oaks, which is Ventura County. That's the same place where the attack, the mass shooting happened just over 48 hours ago. So Thousand Oaks, right now, between Thousand Oaks and LA County, there's a fire. There's also one near the LA Zoo, and there's one above Sacramento. So California has 3 fires going on right now. If you like continued coverage on the fires, continued coverage on U.S. China relations, make sure to go to goldenstatetimes.com. Again, that's goldenstatetimes.com for more coverage. If you'd like to help us, the link is in the description below for our PayPal, or you can go to paypal.me/GST Live. All contributions are greatly appreciated. It helps us get to the next live event, continue operation, and continued live coverage and breaking news coverage both here on YouTube and on our website. So if you'd like to contribute to us, the link is in the description below. Thank you so much in advance.